Aloha everybody, it's Jim Channon here at the Botanical Oasis. Used to call this an eco homestead, but you know, it got bigger and more complex as we tried to invite more and more nature in. And what this is a model for how 20 to 30 people can live together in the future and have a small community where they really are soul friends. We call it family of choice, and actually live in a botanical forest which grows half their food at least and gives them places to play, be in the midst of beauty the whole time, and be in a state of peace because it is so beautifully groomed. So peace, plenty, and play were the keys we got from the Hawaiian god of the harvest, Lono. Now, I'm going to break that down for you in a way that you can imagine that you're going to get 3 acres in the future, and it starts when you're about 50. So at 50, this is the piece of land we're looking at. It's 3 acres, imagine, but it's 3 acres that are seen at an angle. And this is what you do first. You find out where on the land you can dig in and change the shape of the land. And there we see it's like the landscape, a homestead building, a nursery area, a studio building, and an amphitheater which was 18 feet deep here. And then we took the dirt and threw it around to make it beautifully embraced by natural features. So pretty much in the second, that's the first phase. You do that when you're 50. Then the second phase is at 50, you plant all the big, amazingly interesting grandfather and grandmother trees, and you paint clusters of, like in this case, this is construction bamboo, a little of orchard because trees take about 8 to 10 years to bloom, etc. So what this is taking care of all the big pieces of your forest that take some time to grow. Now, when you're 60, you come back and you take a look at what you can still see with all those trees in the way, and it provides little views. This is a view plane, this is a view path. And what you want to do here now is start to preserve all the magical views that you have. Sure, you'll have some that go off the land, and you'll have some that are completely on the land. In this case, this is a night tunnel view. And from now on, what you plant will have to fit inside of these view planes in order to preserve the visual beauty of the place. So now at 60, you're ready to build, and in my case, I built a little temple cluster here and an amphitheater for what amounted to become about 25 little festivals. Later on, I built a teepee village for temporary visitors and students to come and learn about the Bioasis. Then we built a series of houses just to show that you could make a house small enough to be picked up by a crane, put on the back of a lowboy, and we call these mobile dwellings. This is nomadic dwellings here. These are mobile dwellings, and the owners of these can take them where they need to go when they buy their piece of land. And then finally, in the Shire, we had more permanent buildings that were handcrafted and beautiful, and then embraced with just the amount of foliage, and a very diverse kind of foliage it is, to produce peace. I'm afraid if you want peace, what you do is make beauty and solitude, and then the peace emerges. Now, at the final phase of that, when you've got your buildings up, you want to make harvestable vegetable plots. And in the little green zones here, you see small micro gardens, which are called edible landscaping, that are in the spaces between the trees and the orchards. This also includes aromatic plants near the houses so that they get beautiful a beautiful aroma to be part of. And this will produce half the food you need to make and eat, so you're always in a pretty good survivable situation. The word sustainability does not even closely come to grips with all that we are putting here. And just to let you know the kind of things that we're going to put in now to play: swings, flags are playful, a dance stage, a bandstand, a journeying zone in a teepee, a music studio, an art studio, open playing fields for badminton and things like that, tool sheds and craft zones and animal shelters to take care of the animals, what we call the Shire, which is this enclosed little hamlet of soul friends. Of course, you need Wi-Fi, a motor pool, picnic areas, birds, ponds, feeding stations, totems, sculpture, and aerial platforms to swing off of. This picks up on the peace, play, and then plenty idea. If you're just gonna go for a survivable homestead, all you need is solar, old tires, you know, and things like that. Isn't it. You can live as close to being in paradise as you want to just by doing this kind of a process. And this is a very quick run through, so you say, this is a lot of stuff, but if you review the tape, you'll find out you shape the land first, because you can't do that later. You plant all the necessary foliage that you need in big trees, because you can't do that later, it takes time to grow. Then you weave the view planes, the beauty points, the avenues, the pathways, the smells into that with your bigger landscaping. Then you come into smaller landscaping where you can sneak in the micro gardens and food. You need flowers, aroma, medicines, etc. And then finally, and you can start this at any time, you know, tree houses and flags and the playful stuff. Yeah, life force living. Life force living. It's where you are fully alive and all that is around you fully alive. See thecyberversity.com at your earliest convenience for the details. Aloha. Thank you.